I literally hate how this camera make me look. But anyway, man, so look, in today's episode show, well, it's not really a show. And today I want to get on here and talk about something that's a little bit more personal, something that's really, really close to home. And that's being a dad. Being a dad definitely isn't easy, especially when you're a father of four with four different mothers involved. Definitely not easy. It's a situation that's real, and it's one that many men find themselves in. But does that mean you can't be an effective parent? Obviously not. And also, don't let a disagreement define or shape you as a parent. Very crucial lesson. Another crucial lesson is not letting our disagreement shape our ability or drive as parents. Very important. Raising a child is a long journey, and there will be argument and tough moments. But just because you have had a disagreement doesn't mean you should walk away. Often, what feels like a big deal in the moment turns out to be less significant later on down the road. So, staying committed through those moments is key. And personally, I dealt with a lot of controversial conversations, and often it would lead to me saying, you know what, fuck this shit, man. I'm done with this shit. If that's how you're gonna be, then you can deal with it on your own. And as two adults who are determined, that can last for a pretty long time, and ultimately has the bulk of the impact on the kid. So very important to stay committed throughout those moments. That's very key. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned is the value of having someone in your corner who understands the system. Going to be extremely important. For me, it's been invaluable to have a woman I can go to for advice. Someone who knows the ins and outs that I, as a man, might overlook. So as a man, for me personally, my concern was always just doing whatever I'm asked to do. And when you have four different people that are asking you to do different things, and if you're in a situation like I'm in, one of those women I'm actually in a relationship with. So it creates a very complex situation to navigate, because as a father, a lot of us think that if we just do what we're asked to do, we're being good fathers. And it's so much deeper than that. That's just scratching the surface. So my advice would be to grandmother, or auntie, I don't know, a church member, older lady, somebody that understands and can help you delve into the extremities and inter workings of a relationship like that, where you have a variety of different women that you're having to deal with on a daily basis. Female can help you navigate and get to the root importance of what you're there to do as a father. All right. So the next thing that I would tell you is that you got to be able to drown out all the noise. Noise is always going to be there. Always. People will talk, and it's easy to get distracted by the drama, but understanding that it's going to be tough and that people will say things is crucial. You're going to experience that. You're going to be looked at a certain way. People are going to speculate about your situation. And it's important to just understand that the key is to keep your priorities straight. Kids always come first. As long as you're showing up day in and day out, handling your business, doing what's necessary, being concerned, you'll be fine. Next thing I would say is finding a balance, right? So finding a balance is everything, in my opinion. I think it's really about making sure your kids respect you as a father, as their father, but also ensuring they're spending time with you as well. It's not about being perfect, but it's about being present in ways that count. And you have four children. Those four kids are spending time in different environments, and then they're coming together for a intermediate span of time, and all of the things that they experience are being put together, being meshed together. So it's important to find the balance of being dad, meaning that I'm going to be tough on you, I'm going to get on to you, but I still love you. And that's the balance that you have to have, because you want your kids to be comfortable. You want them to be able to come to you and vent to you when necessary, because they are away from you. So you want them to be able to tell you if something is going on, if they're not safe, make sure that their needs are met. Next thing I would say, be realistic. Let's be real. There's only so much I can do. There's only so much you can do in those situations. Can't be everywhere at once. So with that being said, there will be times when your kids go through things without you. And it's important to control what you can, but also accept that you can't do it all. You can't be everywhere. You can't make every doctor's appointment if they're having varieties of appointments at different times. You got your own work schedule. You got your own life that you're living. And while that may sound selfish to some, it's real. When you're in the house with a kid and your kid is living with you, you're going to make a lot more of those appointments. You're going to be at a lot more of those games and practices and do a lot more of that child. Unfortunately, for the kids that you don't live with, they're not going to have those daily experiences. And sometimes it's easy to beat yourself up about that. But accepting that and trying to fill in those gaps where you can is important. I would say the next thing, and I would say probably the most controversial thing that I've learned throughout this process, is that unfortunately you have to know when to walk away. So here's where I think sometimes people give me a lot of pushback. I have conversations with people that I'm close to that maybe they're not experiencing the things that I'm experiencing. I couldn't fathom the idea of this being a reality, but sometimes you have to know when to walk away. If you're doing everything you can to be a good father and it's not being reciprocated, I've learned that that can put you in a mental space where you're angry, and that anger will drive your parenting. And it's not healthy for anyone. So sometimes the best thing you can do is step back. And there's been several occasions where me and one of my kids' mothers have not been able to communicate effectively, and we're communicating out of frustration and anger. And a lot of times that leads to things that are said that can be very hurtful, and allowing your emotions to drive your parenting when you're angry can definitely lead to, because your kids are going to pick up on that. They pick up on those emotions. They pick up on your feelings and different things. A lot of parents even use their anger and resentment towards the other parent to build a barrier between the kid and the other parent, where they're telling this kid things that are going to internally make them think negatively about the other parent. So you definitely don't want to do anything like that, man. That doesn't help anybody, because at the end of the day, that kid is going to go looking for answers, and that's a void that kid is going to try to fill, and may go about filling that void in various ways. If the father or mother has to take a step back, usually it's the father who's taking that step back and basically dealing with what's going to be said, dealing with the consequences of that, just to keep their own sanity. But there are some women out there that probably have to make those decisions where they have to pack up and take the kid and don't communicate with the dad and stuff like that. It's important to understand that those dynamics are all a part of situations where you have children with a person that you're not married to, because individually as adults, you're trying to create the best situation for yourself and for your kid, and sometimes that may become challenging. And as a father, you're faced with the harsh reality that you're going to lose either way. You're going to lose either way. And I always try to tell myself, what is the conversation I would rather have with my kid down the line? You think that sacrificing doesn't all have to be one-sided. I don't have to fully sacrifice my relationship and my time with my child, or fully sacrifice my career or decisions that I make to be successful. I think that there are times where I'm sacrificing a certain portion of that for the moment, right? There may be a basketball game that may get missed because I'm trying to close a deal that's going to set us up for something, a life that he's going to appreciate down the road. One of the things I remember when I started to approach adulthood was being a young man who was living in a impoverished situation, meaning we didn't have a car, we're living in the projects. And I was thinking to myself, I think that my kid would appreciate having the best of both worlds, and meaning financially stable and financially healthy, but also us having a healthy relationship. And in order to do that, throughout that process, it's not going to be all sunshine and roses. And what people seem to gloss over is that the finished product is what people look at, right? So at the apex of our relationship, if I'm able to provide for my kids at a level that most can't, the public is going to view that as you're a great parent, blah, because we make it about what people think of us when people shouldn't have that much insight on our situation to begin with. So people criticize dads for making the tough decisions that oftentimes the mom doesn't really have to make, but the mom is also put in a very difficult situation because usually she has to deal with it all, doctor's appointments, meeting with the teachers and stuff like that. And that's where the idea of co-relationship as far as parenting is concerned, parents working together, having that communication to understand how one can help the other is important, because you want it to be a cohesive situation. But if you're a dad out there and you have multiple kids that you're parenting, just understand, man, it's going to be challenging. You're not the favorite in any way. Do the best you can to be there for your kids. Try to fill in those gaps as much as possible. Having a female support system is definitely necessary. I think that that'll save you a lot of headache for sure. And just try to show up, be present, and don't say anything and don't do anything that you're going to regret. So the walking away part, and I say walk away until you're controlled enough to have a rebuttal that's not going to push you guys away, but you fix the situation so that the relationship with the kid can continue. So, and look, being a dad with a complex family situation isn't easy, but it's real. It's about navigating the challenges, making the best decisions you can, and always keeping your kids at the center of it all. No one said it would be perfect, but that doesn't mean that it can't be done well. So that's all the time I got for y'all today, man. If you found this helpful, or if you've got your own experiences that you want to share, drop a comment below. Let's keep it real and let's keep this conversation going, man. Till the next one, man. This your boy.